afternoon. I'm back again. It's quite a few more weeks after the last walk, and it's now September. Wouldn't know it. Look at the weather. It's fantastic. A great day. It's either not 5 o'clock in the morning, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and just left Staines, and we are on our next leg of this walk. And today we're walking north from Staines. We're leaving the river behind where we walked last time, and this is going to be a really interesting walk today. We're walking north from Staines upon Thames up to Iver, and we're going to cross over some really interesting bits of infrastructure in the green belt today. We're going to walk past Heathrow, we're going to walk up the Colne Valley, and we're going to go past where Heathrow Airport is due to potentially expand into, and we're going to end up at the Crossrail station and the Elizabeth line station at Iver, so hopefully get there before sunset. The evenings are starting to draw in a bit now, but yeah, nice couple of hours ahead of us, nice weather, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So we're right at the bottom here, right at the southern end of the Colne Valley Regional Park. It pretty much starts in Staines upon Thames and goes all the way north from here, and it's a mosaic of about 200 kilometres of farmland, of woodland, waterways, canals, and it's all the way from here right the way up to Rickmansworth. 43 square miles of area. It was formed in about 1965, different bits of land, and it's quite an important, really interesting part of the Greenbelt. It'll be really a feature of the next couple of these walks, actually, as we go up from Staines and start to walk north from here. It's sandwiched between that really interesting parts of infrastructure of HS2, Heathrow expansion, data centres being proposed, motorway services, expanding film studios, and also more housing to come in this area. So it's a really interesting part and really pretty down towards there, but then this is more functional over to this stretch here, and this is the King George VI reservoir. We'll talk more about that as we go on. The resident lawn mowers they use all around the edge of this reservoir to keep that grass down for the sheep in this area. Afternoon, everybody. So this reservoir then on the right, you can't really see much, just the banks of it, but it's huge. It's 350 acres of reservoir, 140 hectares, and can hold 3,500 million gallons of water. It was started in 1937 and it was finished just 2 years later in 1939. It actually then lay empty for 8 years over the war. It was opened in 1947, and it was actually one of a series. There's lots of reservoirs around here, and it's a series of 5 reservoirs that were built really to last that kind of the next 100 years. It was the last of them that was built, and it's certainly an interesting thing as we keep growing as a city. There's a whole thing about reservoirs and where we're going to get more water, water neutrality, all those issues facing the development industry, and a real form for more infrastructure. And the fact that we haven't built a reservoir for London for nearly 100 years certainly tells you something. It also tells you something that Thames Water, who run that reservoir, they currently admit that they lose 600 million litres of water every day through leaks across their network. It's enough to supply 4 million people. It's actually 1/6 of that reservoir that they lose every day. So again, our critical problems facing our infrastructure as we come past this. Not much to see at the moment. You can certainly hear Heathrow though, can hear the planes starting to take off, and it'll be definitely a big feature of this walk. Looking forward to seeing the back of this fence. I've been walking along this now for about 20 minutes and it's been exactly the same. So yeah, looking forward to getting to some more countryside, although in fact it's opening out a bit more that way. Nice kind of heathland. See those trees just starting to turn colour now, leaves on the trees. I might find some conkers on the way as well today. walking part through housing estates and with planes going over, and then you go down a little alley and cross a bridge, and then look, you're alongside a river, walking along past the River Calms. Just becomes really nice. It's that weird area where the urban meets the rural, and quite a hard edge, but beautiful edge in many ways. Just see over that edge line, that's Terminal 5, Heathrow. That was the last expansion of Heathrow Airport, opened early 2000s. It was after a long 5-year inquiry by Roy Vandermeer QC, and he approved the expansion. The government agreed with the inquiry and allowed that expansion. But it was interestingly that the Transport Secretary, Stephen Byers, at that time said that it would be the last ever expansion of the airport. But now, some 25 years later, we're about to walk up to the bit where the next expansion of Heathrow is being proposed, just up over here, and that's the M4 approaching up to the M25. And look at that for a day. So all this field and all you can see over here is where the potential third runway for Heathrow will go. You've got Heathrow and the A4, it's behind those buildings, and over here we're about to walk is the village of Harmondsworth, which will have to completely go if the government and the people that are proposing Heathrow expansion get approval. So this is the middle of Harmondsworth, the historic village, really nice. The stores, pub, church and churchyard. Some really nice buildings, and these would all go. All of it goes if Heathrow gets expanded. This is pretty much where the runway would be, and that would have to go right the way through this village. They'd even have to move the M25, which is no mean feat. So probably one of these areas here where you've got scrapyards, cars, other things, and maybe this is what the government meant when they were talking about grey belt and using these sites in the green belt. But we'll talk a bit more about that policy and those changes as we go on. So that's it, another one in the bag, 14k in. Sun's starting to go down, and it's coming up to Iver station just up here, so it's a really interesting walk today. There's bits of infrastructure, Heathrow expansion, some really unexpected beauty in that whole process. So the next walk will take me right the way up from here to Gerrard's Cross. I'm going to keep going and hopefully get some more of this amazing weather. See you next time.